Do you ever feel like the older you get, the lonelier you become? Like the people who were once a big part of your life have drifted away, and now you're left wondering if you need to go out and find new friends just to fill the void? Society tells us that we need a circle of friends to be happy, that loneliness is something to be feared, and that without friendships, we are incomplete. But what if that's not true at all? What if I told you that, in old age, you actually don't need any friends at all, and that, in fact, you might be better off without them? For years, you've probably heard that friendship is the key to a happy and fulfilling life. That having people around you is the only way to feel loved, supported, and valued. But let's be honest. How many so-called friendships have left you feeling drained, disappointed, or even betrayed? How many times have you given your time, energy, and love to people who never truly reciprocated? You see, friendships, especially in old age, are not always what they seem. The reality is, not all relationships are good for you. Some friendships are built on obligation, others on convenience, and many simply do not stand the test of time. Think back to your younger years. You had friends from school, friends from work, neighbors you'd chat with, and people you'd see in social settings. But how many of those people are still in your life today? If you're like most people, the answer is very few. And that's not because you did anything wrong. It's because life naturally separates us from others. People move, priorities shift, and sometimes friendships just fade. But instead of seeing this as a loss, what if you saw it as an opportunity? An opportunity to focus on yourself. An opportunity to become your own best companion. An opportunity to finally stop depending on others for your happiness. The real story of friendships in old age. Why you may not realize the power of solitude. Older friendships can have a cost. They demand time, energy, and emotional commitment. And let's face it, do you really want to squander your valuable time and energy on relationships that don't really benefit you at this point in your life? Consider it. You've devoted innumerable hours to fostering connections, supporting others, and attempting to maintain harmony over the years. However, you start to perceive things more clearly as you age. You come to understand that not all social contacts are enjoyable and not all friendships are advantageous. Convenience, not real connection, is the foundation of many friendships. Others have unstated responsibilities, such as maintaining appearances and hosting needless discussions, or interacting with those who take more than they contribute. Friendships' hidden costs. Even enduring friendships can occasionally cause more stress than they do solace. Think about this: drama and gossip. It's a sad fact that a lot of friendships, particularly those that last into old age, are centered around gossip, including who said what, who did what, and who isn't talking to whom. Is that negativity truly necessary for you? Peace of mind is considerably more precious at this stage of life than getting sucked into someone else's affairs. Misunderstandings and disappointments. You are held to higher standards by the more people you surround yourself with. And disappointments are unavoidable when expectations are high. Maybe a friend failed to arrive when you needed them. Most of them, whether on purpose or not, they may have said something that offended you. Will you continue to have these emotional highs and lows? Emotional fatigue. It takes emotional work to be a friend, to listen, to support, to counsel, to be present. This can occasionally be rewarding, but it can also be exhausting. Wouldn't it be preferable to focus that energy on your own development and happiness at this point in your life? This has nothing to do with resentment or excluding others. It involves consciously choosing to put tranquility above pointless societal responsibilities. The strength of being alone actually, as you age, you come to understand that serenity is far more valuable than friendship. Many times, solitude is misinterpreted. Loneliness and loneliness are sometimes confused, yet they are actually quite different. Feelings of lack and unfulfilled connections are the hallmarks of loneliness. On the other hand, choosing to be alone is a strong, deliberate decision to value your alone time. You are free when you accept solitude, free from commitments, free from expectations, and free to concentrate solely on your happiness. Knowing that you don't need to look to other people for approval gives you a sense of freedom. You can actually take care of oneself and get all the support, amusement, and company you believed you required from friends. Dispelling the myth, isn't social engagement necessary for happiness? When they hear this, some individuals might ask right away, however, isn't loneliness detrimental to one's health? Do we not require social interaction to maintain our emotional and mental well-being? Although there are advantages to human connection, having a big social circle and interacting with people all the time are not necessary for happiness. Research indicates that quality is more important than quantity. When it comes to relationships, a few meaningful interactions, perhaps with family, a neighbor, or even a pet can provide the same emotional benefits as a large social circle. Additionally, there are mental and emotional benefits of being alone. Enhanced self-awareness. You discover more about yourself when you spend time with yourself. You consider your past, your goals, and your development as a person. Reduced anxiety and stress. Having social responsibilities can be taxing. By choosing isolation, you can avoid external demands and go at your own speed. Greater creativity and personal development. Solitude served as a source of inspiration for many of the greatest writers, artists, and thinkers in history. Spending time alone promotes creativity, introspection, and self-improvement. How to take pleasure in your own company if you've spent a lifetime believing that you need others around you to be happy. The thought of isolation could feel odd. However, once you accept it, you'll see how rewarding it can be. These are some ways to make the most of your alone time. Engage in deep conversations with yourself. You don't need friends to have meaningful conversations. Talk to yourself. Reflect on your thoughts, and explore new ideas. Writing in a journal. Reading it can be immensely satisfying to read books that provoke thought or even to write down your ideas. Enjoy yourself, by yourself. Who says you can't enjoy life without company? Get a great meal for yourself. Go to a museum. Visit locations you've always desired to see. Choose a pastime that you enjoy. With total control over your time and energy, you may enjoy the tranquility of your own home. Develop inner gratitude and love. True love originates from inside, although many people go to others for approval and love. When you learn to appreciate yourself, your thoughts, your achievements, your presence, you no longer need to chase friendships for fulfillment. Instead, you radiate self-sufficiency and peace. Disconnect from toxic relationships. Not every friendship is worth keeping. If a relationship drains you more than it uplifts you, it's okay to walk away. Your time and emotional energy are precious. Use them wisely. The absolute truth. You are complete by yourself. The most significant insight that comes with growing older is that you may feel whole without the support of others. A group of pals is not necessary to prove your presence. To be fulfilled, you don't have to be surrounded by people all the time. to escape loneliness. You don't have to put up with bad relationships. You welcome freedom when you embrace solitude. You regain mastery of your happiness, your emotions, and your time. And no amount of friendship can give you such power. You don't need anyone. So keep that in mind the next time someone tells you that you need to be more social. You are sufficient. Discovering harmony. The real story of friendships in old age. It goes without saying that accepting solitude does not entail total seclusion or a refusal to socialize. When it is sincere and satisfying, human connection may be a wonderful aspect of life. The important thing is that it should be a decision rather than a requirement. By all means, treasure that relationship if you come across someone who truly makes you happy, someone who encourages you, respects you, and shares important experiences with you. Healthy connections can give your life more richness and warmth. They can provide emotional support, wisdom sharing, and fun. Many people, however, make the error of believing that they must keep up connections only to be with others. The notion that social interaction is essential is frequently promoted by society. To contentment, that a large social network is a sign of achievement. However, as you get older, you come to understand that quality is more important than quantity. A dozen flimsy friendships are not nearly as useful as one deep bond. Forcible friendships price all too frequently. People continue to remain in draining relationships because of a dread of being alone. They spend time with individuals who don't genuinely care about them, go to events they don't enjoy, and have meaningless conversations. However, what does that actually achieve? Just tension, fatigue, and lost energy. Ask yourself this: do these friendships make me happy and at peace? Or do they make me more frustrated than fulfilled? Do I really want to spend time with these folks? Or do I feel compelled to? Is it habit that keeps me in these relationships? Or do they provide value to my life? You could find that many of your connections are not as important as they once appeared to be if you take the time to honestly assess them. And that's all right. Not all friendships are destined to endure a lifetime. It's acceptable to move on from certain people when their time in your life is over. The ability to make your own decisions in old age. You have something that younger people often lack: wisdom and experience. You've spent decades nurturing relationships, making sacrifices, and taking care of others. You've been a friend, a mentor, a caregiver, and a support system. But now is your time. Your time to focus on what truly makes you happy. Your time to prioritize your peace without guilt. Your time to stop worrying about pleasing others and start living for yourself. There is something incredibly powerful about stepping into this phase of life with confidence. When you no longer feel the need to chase friendships or force connections, you reclaim your freedom. You begin to enjoy your own company in a way you never have before. The beauty of solitude, being alone, doesn't mean being lonely. It means having the space to truly know yourself, to engage in activities you love, and to live life on your own terms. Imagine waking up every day and doing exactly what you want, with no obligations to maintain relationships that no longer serve you. That's not isolation, that's freedom. If someone comes into your life who brings true joy, then welcome them. But never feel pressured to hold on to friendships that add stress or emotional burden. It is far better to be alone and at peace than to be surrounded by people who drain your energy. Final thought: you deserve this after everything you've been through, after all the years of giving to others. You deserve to focus on yourself. You deserve to prioritize your well-being. And most importantly, you deserve to live in peace. So, as you move forward, Remember this: you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to keep up appearances. You don't need to force relationships that no longer bring joy. Your happiness is in your hands. Embrace it. So, if you've been feeling pressured to make new friends, if you've been worrying that you're alone too often, I want you to take a deep breath and let that worry go. You are not missing out. You are not incomplete. You are not lonely. You are free. Free to live life on your terms. Free to enjoy the quiet. Free to embrace every moment without the burden of unnecessary relationships. And that freedom, that's the greatest gift of all. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You don't need to seek approval. You don't need to feel guilty for choosing solitude over superficial connections. You are exactly where you need to be. And the best part, you are in complete control of your happiness. The power has always been in your hands. So, take it, own it, and live your life unapologetically, without the weight of friendships you don't actually need.